we would now invite Mr. Himadri Sekhar Dutta to share some insight on London's association, club, and
এটা অফ না, এটা না নিচে নামানো নাকি? ঠিক নিচে।
Very good morning to everybody. In our first session, sorry we are little bit late, but naturally this in this part of the India, this winter is little bit surprising that it is extending in Calcutta. In between 10 and 15 degrees centigrade, it's very rare for continuous more than 1 month. But that's happening here. So people are little zilly. Okay, let's continue. My topic to say is about the photographic education at crossroads, 2026. This is regarding the scenario of the photographic education. What is the COVID has changed a lot all over the world, and photography is no exception. But how this perception of the education of photography has changed, I will try to share a couple of words with you. Prior to arrival of digital age, in the heyday of film photography, which is I think it's wrong to say analog photography, but people are a lot of people are sharing that. I will try to mention film photography. Photographic education was three-pronged. One, classroom. Next was indoor or outdoor, and darkroom were places for theoretical lecture, hands-on training, and post-camera demonstration respectively. The scenario started to change 2020 onwards as the COVID-19 encapsulated the planet. Total disruption of normalcy due to lockdown compelled everybody to restrict oneself within the purview of place of dwelling, and subjects based on bookish knowledge like literature, subjects based on bookish knowledge like literature and commerce and humanities were easy to dissipate through internet, that's online, but not that so in subjects of science like physics, chemistry, biology, etc. In case of an applied subject like photography, it's bound to be little difficult to cope with, but it has been observed in post-neo-normal years that after normalcy was restored around 22-23, there was an aversion in classroom participation among students. In case of photography, hands-on operations and post-camera techniques are not that easy to show online as it can be done physically. Though there is limitation of space in classroom, arguably number of students in virtual space can be much more. Amidst this digital age, scope of learning is immense to students of any subject. But what about the future of photographic education in ensuing times? Nobody knows. 2026 is in crossroads. Thank you. This is a very short deliberation, and I will be honored if you have any question. Thank you.
I wanted you to share with us some insight about the school, about what you're offering to students. I've been hearing students who've been in your association for more than 40 years, 30 years. So can you share some details about it?
Details means these students are coming, we have this classroom experience. The students are coming from various strata of the society, and they are coming because of they are in photographic education. The scenario as it is conceived and viewed in India nowadays, there are plenty of scope of photographic education, but as we are totally, we are in the course of 4 years, the 3 certificate diploma and post diploma, we are holding this course free of cost, totally. And from various strata of the society, from various places all over the country, lot of students are eager to participate. But in post-COVID situation, the eagerness to participate in these classroom courses has been lessened much more. Because prior to COVID, we for the basic course of certificate for 156, there were applicants of around on an average 600, 800 to up to 1000 even. But in post-COVID situation, there is not even 50, 60 applicants for this course. So that is the change, sea change, what I have observed. But you can share what is the scenario in your country.
In fact, in our country, we've got a very small club. It's like more fun sharing than educating. We don't have a proper school. And Mr. Steve Dubois, as I mentioned earlier, is our mentor. So he's the main figure of the club. And we learn much from him and much through sharing and experience. And I would like to know if your club is open for foreign students.
We have not yet started any online course, but we have planned to start the online course next February or March, because we have a new setup under Himadri Study Center, from where we will start the online course, which may be open to all over the world. We have not yet detailed plan. Okay. But our course is very rigorous. Our student and also the evaluation criteria is also very rigorous.
Thank you so much. Anyone from the audience? Any question?
Well, I have one question. May I ask?
আপনি বসুন
Good morning, everybody, once again. Now, my question is mainly to the delegates from abroad. My question is, our experience is now that urge to learn photography in a systematic way by going to some school or colleges is declining. We don't get much students for our courses, as Mr. Himadri Sekhar Dutta told. Now, if you have some such courses, conducted courses by some institutes, do you have similar experience, or no, it is as before, or it is growing, or something like that? If you have an institution where regularly you conduct photography courses, say first year, second year, diploma, certificate, so on. Do you have any such experience that art to learn photography through a systematic course is declining? Because nowadays, so many other systems are available, like YouTube and other things, one can learn. So there is fall in the interest of people to learn photography by going to an institution, paying the tuition fee and all these things. If anybody can share. Thank you.
Hi once again. So I told you that I'm from Romania. I have accredited a photo school of Ministry of Labor and Education in Romania. And at the beginning, from 9 years, I conduct this, and from the beginning I have about 200 students for a year. Well, big parties, big shooting, lot of setups. But for example, the decline of this thing, it's starting about normally after the pandemic. When in my opinion, that this clothing and this social media made the people more close in that sense. So normally the socialization remains mostly on our telephone, yeah, and the social media, and the new opportunities like YouTube and people not socializing anymore, they learn from themselves, for example. And for example, 2 years ago I have 60 students all year. Last year I have only 15, so it's going very down. But I said, everybody have a phone. Let's teach them how to use photography on the phone. So I applied for a government help finance, for example, and because people like to receive things for free, because on YouTube is free, everywhere is free. Why should people give me money from me or any other institutes, Academy of Photography, when everything is on internet and is free? Or other guys tell their stories on social media for free. So my opinion is the problem is this. The social media, and after the pandemic, people are more closed in themselves, and believe me that people don't go to the exhibitions anymore. For example, I have 2 galleries. I put up the pictures on the wall, and people will come. But openings, not anymore. People not come to openings. They stay on the phone and look what they find. They see people, newspapers read about the exhibition, but not. So in every field. And the problem is that the young generation not interesting anymore in artistic field. They have AI. They use AI for their ideas. Yes, don't use they don't have academic, for example, preparation. They don't have go to school, so they learn from each other, for example, or from social media, and they believe that it is the art. Yeah. So, what should we do? We adapt. Thank you very much. Sorry, it was too long.
No, it was very informative.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Yes.
Hi, okay. Hello again. I'm coming to answer this question from 2 perspectives, really. One, as a professional photographer, and 2, also as a teacher of photography in schools for very young people. But I also teach photography to people who are recovering from mental health issues, and photography there is immensely useful to bring people out from a position where they're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder or something like that. And I find that there are 2 aspects of photography education that concern me. One is the advance of technology, in that you buy a camera, everybody's then a brilliant photographer, or they think they're a brilliant photographer. What we don't progress with technology is the ability to be able to see and to be able to understand what we're photographing. So we can all of us can take a technically brilliant photograph, but really as a communication, that photograph says nothing. It is just an image, a capture. And it's that side of the education that we really need to teach. So when my students say, oh, Mr. Hill, why do I want to study photography? Why should I study photography? It's not going to be of any use to me at all. I want to be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, or I want to be a fireman or anything but a photographer. But learning to see is the most important skill we can impart onto a young photographer or an old photographer like me. We still need to learn to see. So that's one side of it, the technology side. The other side of it is the purpose of photography. We can put on exhibitions, we can put our work online, we can create a wonderful website. If you have a look at my website, it's not wonderful, it's much neglected. But we can do all of these things to get our photographs out. But it's that seeing. I still keep coming back to the fact that we need to teach people to see in order to become good photographers. And that's where I think we're failing. So from the organisation I represent, the Royal Photographic Society, we have, as I'm sure some of you know, and certainly some of you are already on this pathway, we have 3 distinctions. We start with the licentiate level, which is a certificate of competency in photography, in the art of photography and the science, the technology of photography. We then move people on to the associate distinction, where you begin to develop an expertise in a specific genre, like pictorial photography, or nature, or travel, or documentary. And once that's been accomplished, that's when a photographer moves on to their fellowship, which is the highest award that we offer, so the Fellowship of the Royal Photographic Society. And at that point, we're trying to move away from genres and give a photographer the opportunity to really develop their own voice. So they might combine different genres. Look at Sebastião Salgado, who died last year. How would you define his work? Is he a natural history photographer? Is he a documentary photographer? Is he a landscape photographer? So all those 3 genres, but he's all of those things. So why do we restrict ourselves to specific genres? So in our fellowship of the Royal Photographic Society, we get rid of genres. We want photographers to develop their own voice, and that brings us right back to my original concern, which is where we need to teach new and aspiring photographers to be able to see. The technology will pretty much take care of itself.
Okay. Thank you.
What I think is post-COVID situation, we have moved rapidly from a knowledge-based society to a skill-based society. So earlier what was required, probably you needed a degree to get into somewhere, now you don't need that. So instead of doing a 3 or 4 year course in any subject, be it photography, be it a general course, whatever be it, we are more into skill setups. We would do rather a 30-hour course, which gives us this entry into a profession. And secondly, in our generation, we used to be in one profession for all our life. But the newer generation, they don't have a single profession. They need to be jack of all trades, and this is a reality. So the world is changing, this we have to accept. And thirdly, probably what our distinguished guests have pointed out, people are not coming to see exhibitions, or they are watching it on the Facebook or other social media. We probably are also, that younger generation is also very skeptical about how they spend the time. So these are 3 factors that we have to remember. So any course that we develop in future, we have to keep it. So it should probably, from a knowledge-based society to skill-based society, that is the core of the thing that I have understood as an educationist. And that is everywhere, that is, be it photography, be it in other courses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richie. So we start here for the tea break. Thank you, everyone.
So now we close this session, first morning session. Now you please go to the upstairs for tea, and we will come back by 12 o'clock. Within 15 minutes, please try to come back, so that we will not delay later.